Pat's not out here living a life where I feel like if he said, "What's up, nigga?" to me, that I'd be like, okay. I'd be like, look, Pat, I'm not here to say you can't. Could you please not say it to me? That's what I'm saying.
I've been with triplet, I've been with twins, I've been in solo, where do I begin?
Reach out to us.
I'll wear a Coke hat.
Shit, I'll do a Sprite commercial. I don't give a fuck about Limey or whatever the fuck that Starry, whatever the fuck that nasty shit
we'll get
is.
Starry the fuck out of here,
I
man.
don't give a fuck about that shit. It's gross.
None of my homies fuck with Starry.
Nobody fucks with Starry except fucking apparently Ice Spice and Giannis.
Oh yeah, no, that was a big deal. Giannis
Giannis switched teams on us.
It's all good.
Yeah, how you doing?
You know, I'm doing good. Are you feeling extra American?
What, because of that Team USA shit yesterday?
Well,
you know, okay, so hold on.
Giannis, and so I thought basketball.
I'm going to say this. I used to feel like that when I was younger, like, oh, it's the Olympics. I feel very like, okay, I'm about to put it. Yeah, exactly. Where's my fucking American flag shorts? Ever since 2016, I've been off that shit. Like,
I'm good.
Nah, homie. I appreciate America and all the opportunity it affords me, but if the shit hits the fan, I'm on the first thing smoking to Guatemala or Ghana, right? Like,
let's get out of here.
So, yeah, it's congrats to the U.S. men's team. I did see Steph go off.
Went off.
He did Steph.
You know, he did Steph things.
I appreciate them. Just like everything that surrounds basketball, giving LeBron an MVP he didn't deserve. So appreciate that.
Oh,
shout out to Jason Tatum, taking them benchings like a man.
There you go.
Shout out Tyrese Halliburton. Appreciate your contributions from the bench, man.
Hey,
everybody needs a hype man.
Yeah, there you go.
Appreciate you, Tyrese.
Need that guy who's clapping the loudest on the bench. He's like, yeah, let's go. Let's go.
It's good defense.
Let's go. Hustle. Let's go, baby. You know, just out here just hyping everybody up.
Yeah, everybody needs a hype man. So,
you know, he starts the huddle. He's like, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 on me. And, you know, he's like, all right.
That was Tyrese Halliburton. But hey, you got the gold anyway. Everybody played their role.
There you go.
Shout out to KD, who just always sounds like a hater in general.
He never not hating.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
So
it's just like
he always got some shit to say.
It's
just like, all right.
Yeah.
And if he's hear this, he gonna fucking get on his burner Twitter account and say something like, I'm like,
he gonna
be like, nigga, you Kevin Durant. Why the fuck?
He gonna be one of those dislikes that I see. Every now and then I see a dislike on our.
You know, a dislike. Do what you gotta do. But if you are feeling inclined to dislike, also hit the like button, subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe. Keep disliking. I don't care.
Keep the engagement.
I don't care.
You know, comments. The comments will get to me eventually, and then maybe I'll address your shit if it's worth addressing.
There you go.
So feel free to dislike. I'm in.
There you go.
I'm in because that's how you coexist.
Okay.
We don't have to like everything we say, but maybe we can have a conversation about your opinion, my opinion. At the end of the day, we say we're still humans, unlike Drake, who needed to be humanized. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Oh, I see where we're going.
You see what I'm saying? We'll talk about that.
I see where we're going.
I'm feeling good, man. I have some wisdom to impart on you today.
Yeah.
All right?
All right.
Because I was thinking about this week as I'm going through my body journey.
Okay.
All right?
And how is that going? Are you feeling one with the temple that is your body?
I mean, I feel like if I can get Ozempic in here, I'd do that shit tomorrow. You know, doing this shit all natural is real difficult.
I don't want to walk in here and just see you like...
Yeah, you gonna walk in 2 weeks, maybe.
Cheeks all caved in.
I don't give a fuck.
What's going on?
I don't give a fuck. I'll be able to shop at Nordstrom's comfortably. So I'm all about it.
We've been giving out way too many brands already up front. Like the first 5 minutes sound like we sponsored or something.
I know. All right, that's the last sponsorship I'm gonna throw out. Even though I'm wearing a New Era hat. So okay.
And you wearing the Lakers hat after we was already talking about.
I am a Lakers fan to the death.
There you go.
I just am not watching their bullshit that they put out.
Yeah.
Right now.
I get it.
So shit, when LeBron retire, I might go back and get the Lakers package. But right now, I ain't got time for that shit. Right now, I'm focused on my mental health and spirituality.
There you go.
And they are antithetical to that right now.
They are
detrimental to my health
when it comes to
exactly
being able to be in a safe mental space. All right,
because there's a balance.
Yes.
Okay. And I thought about this after watching Yachty and Joe Budden.
Oh, you see,
and he asked these two little niggas about self-care, and they were like, "What's that?" And I'm like, "This isn't a 1970s term, guys. Like
you guys made this term.
Like this is a term that kids is talking about.
We're a part of the generation.
Yeah. So and some of this stuff, I'm like, maybe this was just podcasting, like whatever.
Yeah.
But after they said, "What's that?" I was like, you know what? Let me make sure I talk to Nene about my Trinity, right? The mind, the body, the soul.
There you go.
Make sure that you are getting in tune and balanced. Both right now, my body is out of balance.
Right.
Mine sometimes, but I got a medicinal purpose.
There you go.
I'm in California. We can smoke that shit legally. So I smoke a little weed for the mental. Okay.
You know, every now and again.
Every now and again, right? And then, you got to get your spirit in it. If all three of those things aren't in the balance, then you're going to be off.
Yeah.
You're going to be off.
Always.
So you got to bring all of those three things. The body is the hardest thing to work on because we put a bunch of shit in it and we don't take time to take care of it.
Definitely.
Like we should. Mental, we don't do it as well. So, Yachty, if you hear this, wake up at a decent hour. Meditate for a little bit to get your mental together.
Yeah.
Read a book. And then maybe you'll start feeling some inspiration to do something actually good. So, mind, body, soul.
Just because you mentioned Yachty, I saw him he was on the Flagrant 2 podcast as well with Andrew Schultz. And they were talking to him, and he was talking about the album that we like.
Okay.
Let's start here.
Yeah.
Right. And he talked about his approach being that he wanted to put something out that he was really proud of, right? And like very much an artistic piece, right? And they asked him like, "Oh, why didn't you include Poland on that album? Because that song came out right before that album." And he was like, "Because it didn't fit the album. Every song on that album was made for that album, right?" And it was very much, he was very much describing his artistic approach in that time. Right, and I was like, so you can go there,
so you
can acknowledge that, right? And you understood that was the assignment for that project. You just don't want to do it again.
Just never do it again.
You just said, nah.
Nah, I'm a mumble rap.
Yeah, I did the artistic thing. Okay, now I'm back to my,
So now I'm mumble rapping.
Yeah, there you go.
So take care of yourself.
Yeah.
That's my topic sentence.
Yeah.
Balance.
All
right. But today I'm a little high energy because I want to get a little messy today. So
here we go.
So,
here for the mess.
You know what I mean? Because I watch clips of the Carisha Please stuff.
Oh god.
Didn't really say nothing, so I'm not going to get into that. But I did want to see what she had to say because we were talking about Diddy last week, and I thought she was gonna be, I thought she was gonna reveal some shit, but she didn't. So whatever, I didn't care. And I only saw clips because I'm not consuming that shit, the whole shit.
No. Also, do you have time? Like, do you have time to consume?
Do I have time? I heard in a movie once a phrase that has stuck with me.
Yeah.
If you never take time, how could you ever have time?
That's true. That is very true.
So, did I have the time? I made time for the clips. For the clips.
Yeah.
Okay, not for the fucking interview. Don't watch this. I want to be clear.
Interview. Okay,
but I did make time for the clips because I've just been looking at what's going on, man.
Yeah,
and I'm like, the industry's shaking up. It's getting a little messy out here, and I'm just like, hey, what's up?
You gotta stay locked in. All right,
we're gonna stay locked.
We've entered the ether that is,
gotta feed the algorithm.
And podcasting and music and. We're as much as a part of the algorithm as we are also trying to, get in the mix of the algorithm. Try to get in the mix
of the algorithm. Yeah. So I did that.
Okay.
How was your week? What'd you do this week?
My week was focused just on, for one, on the topic of, taking care of yourself. Body-wise, I've been getting a lot more sleep.
That's important.
So, call my mom up and I'm telling her I'm getting some good sleep, and she's like, "Good, because you need it right now."
Get off the phone and go to sleep.
Why are you even talking to me? I'm like, "Mom, I'm driving to work."
Shut up and sleep drive.
Like, come on, man. Yeah, so I've been really focused on that. The last couple of months, actually.
Okay.
But, this week felt like a good sleep week.
Okay.
Right? I was getting, like, consistent 8, 9 hours, right?
All right.
Like, consistently. So that felt good. Right? It makes a difference.
Makes a
difference for everything.
It makes a difference.
Right? It's the biggest thing you can do for your body.
It's the best tool in your beauty kit.
There you go.
Is sleep.
There you go. Right? So I'm rested up, energized. I'm ready to go today.
All right.
Feeling good. But this week was filled with, again, I feel like all I do now in my spare time is listen to music.
Yeah, it's been all I've been doing today. And it was a lot of new music out.
It was a lot
this
of new
week.
music.
So, yeah, I feel the same way.
So that's just, that's level one of what I do is just listen to music everywhere. Which kind of gets us into the best things we heard this week.
That I've heard a few things. So
I've heard
I am interested. I'm interested in what you have heard.
Okay. So best thing I heard this week.
Yep.
Was by the artist Navy Blue.
Okay.
His real name is Sage Elsesser. He's actually he's also a pro skateboarder.
Okay.
So he's an artist, but he's also a pro skateboarder, rapper, and his album was called Memoirs in Armor.
Okay.
So
spelled the European way, kind of pretentious, but all right, go on.
He's a conscious guy.
All right.
He's very in tune with himself. I think he's wise beyond his years.
Okay.
I want to say we're around the same age, right?
So
I've really seen this kid grow up, right? Because again, I was, tapped into what he was doing just as a skateboarder.
Okay.
But then he started doing, tapping in more to his music side of things, right? And
so you fucked with him from the skateboard life and found out he made some music, and here you are.
It was actually pretty good. And I will say, I think he does what I think a lot of people aren't able to do, which is kind of toe the line of both well. Because sometimes you'll do two things, right?
Okay.
Not even in the same, medium, but we'll just say, there's basketball players that are rappers, right? And sometimes you'll be like,
okay,
that shit corny, bro. That shit hella corny.
Yeah, I guess there are.
You'll be like, just focus on basketball, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to sound like that guy, but just
just shut up and dribble.
Right, but so when it came to him, I think people in the skateboarding space probably like, you're doing music, whatever. I'm just not gonna pay attention to it, but I took a chance on it. I really, really liked it from the jump, and I think it's been really cool to see his progression. Again, he's one of those artists that I get to see kind of from the jump, just from having exposure to him and in skateboarding, and then seeing him grow when it comes to music, and really see him develop his own sound, what he likes to do, where he likes to go with it. And it's a bit more underground feel. The samples are very wide range in terms of the regions where they're coming from, right? A lot of you get some tribal sounding things, sounds like some Asian inspired stuff, that gets mixed in and produced in a way that I really dig. I really like it. I think it's really cool. So just his approach to music, I really appreciate, I would say.
What are your favorite tracks on the album?
Boulder comes off the top of my head right away. I think that was track 3. I just love what he's talking about on that song. It's a lot about just kind of self-reflection and kind of it's a bit of, it's the second song, but it's a bit about just growing up and kind of growing up in the eye of people, not so much being famous, just in the eye of those that you care about, and seeing yourself develop through maybe their reactions to you or their opinions about you and how that changes, and just kind of growing into becoming a full person, really, and really having that wisdom to be able to kind of acknowledge, your own mistakes and develop into a better person. So that's really what he's kind of talking about, in the whole album, really, is how I felt that he was going about it. And again, like I said, he's wise beyond his years, and I think it's a nice change of pace from a lot of the stuff we hear, So I definitely had that appreciation for this album.
Do you recommend I listen to it?
I do recommend that you listen to this album, right? So it's been a while since I've had an actual recommendation for you, but I would recommend that you take a listen to it.
Is this a change my mind situation, or is this something you think I will enjoy?
I think I think worst case you'll be like, it was good. It was okay.
Okay.
And best case you'll say like, I dug it. I actually had there's things I want to check out from him, and I think you'll go down the rabbit hole with him.
All right.
So best case, worst case, I think it's not a I fear it'll be a waste of your time kind of thing. But I don't know. You could surprise me. You could be like, I thought this was trash.
Thought it was garbage.
Thought it was garbage.
So bad.
Right?
How dare you suggest this?
Memoirs in Armor, Navy Blue. Support you all the way. Shout out to Navy Blue.
Shout out to Navy Blue.
There you go. So what do you got for me?
I listen to a lot of music.
A lot. It's heavy.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Chloe, Trouble in Paradise. Best thing I heard this week.
Really?
Best thing I heard this week.
Really?
Really enjoyed that project. She had some pop tracks on there that I was just like, I don't care about this. But for the most part, there was a theme to the album. It seems like it felt to me, again, and I'm old, so listen to this, but it felt to me like breakup music.
Okay.
But that being said, vocal range, there's a lot of different types of songs, but they were all kind of similar in they were on the, I don't want to say negative, they were on the troubled end of relationship. Right. But it was a good project. Like I just sat down on Friday night when it came out. I couldn't sleep, and I was like, let me see what this is doing, because you'd asked me to listen to Raven Nene.
Yep.
Which I did.
Yeah.
And I'll give you my opinion about that in a second.
All right.
And I was just thinking, like, what other R&B projects are out there that I had enjoyed, and then I saw this one come out, and I was like, let me give it a listen, because I didn't listen to her last project, and I was like, this is actually pretty good. I'm really enjoying this. She got a track on there with Ty Dolla $ign that I thought was pretty good.
Ty just be everywhere.
Ty's everywhere, but but when I listened to it, I was just like, why are you fucking with Kanye right now?
Right.
And now that I think about it, I'm like, I know why. It's because Kanye paid RCA to get Ty Dolla $ign over here. So okay, fine. That's why they're doing this, because I couldn't
follow the money. Follow the money.
Exactly. Right. So I was like, okay. So Kanye was like, I need Ty Dolla $ign. They were like, this is how much it costs. And then Ty's like, all right, I'm gonna go get this money. All right. So fine, whatever. But that Ty Dolla $ign feature is probably where I like to hear Ty Dolla $ign.
That's the space you want him in, on a feature or in general.
I wish Ty Dolla $ign would make an album that was more R&B focused. Which brings me to another thing that I actually heard this week that I really enjoyed, and it was P4. So Party Next Door. I didn't listen to that back in April when it came out, because whatever. But I was exploring a lot of new R&B, because you said, hey, check out Raven Nene. I think you would like her. And I was like, well, let me check out everything out here. That's an R&B project to think about how this vibes. And I came across Party's album, and I only listened to that because I didn't realize that Division was OVO. Yeah. I didn't realize that. For some reason, I blocked that out of my fucking mind.
Really?
But then when I heard it, I was like, oh, that makes sense. And I was like, oh, OVO actually does have acts that aren't Drake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I was like, okay, well, let me go. And I do remember a Drake and Party song from like 2016 or something that I enjoyed. So I was like, oh, let me go and check out what's going on in the R&B space right now. Okay. That's when I came across the Chloe album. That's when I came across the Party album. And both those projects I really liked. Yeah. So check out Chloe's Trouble in Paradise. Okay. It's got some poppy tracks on there, but she's got a track on there with Holly. Is Hallie her sister? Yeah. Okay. So with her
Hallie
sister
and Chloe Bailey.
Yeah. So Want Me, I really like that track. Okay. Same Lingerie, I think that's a really good track. The Never Let You Go track with YG Marley. I like her on that track. I don't necessarily care for YG Marley on the track, but whatever. The Fuck Your Status track, I think that's good. Yeah. I might as well. Like I'm looking at this as I'm going through the track list. It's 16 songs. Yeah. Little under an hour. Right. And I probably fuck with about 10 or 11 of these songs.
Oh, okay.
And the ones that I don't fuck with, I'm gonna be honest. I was lukewarm on the Anderson .Paak track. She's got a track on there with Anderson .Paak, and I was just like, okay, it's all right. And then she's got like 4 tracks that are very poppy.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm out.
Yeah.
If I want pop Chloe, then make a pop album.
Yeah.
Okay.
I see.
So, but that being said, I did enjoy the listen.
Yeah.
That being said, I was just listening, and I was just like, okay, eyes closed. It was late. It was like 1 a.m. I couldn't sleep.
Okay.
So
yeah.
I was like, let's check out some music, and that was the best thing I heard this week. So shout out to Chloe. Very, very good project. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Bongo, by the way, did a lot of the beats.
Really?
On there, really well done. Party, 40 mixed. I think that whole album.
Really?
Yeah, I know he produced a few tracks on there too, or is getting producer credit as well as Party and other people.
Right.
But when I was looking at it, I think he mixed. If he didn't, he mixed damn near every song. If he didn't do every song.
Damn.
So I came away from that Party album.
Yeah.
Going like, so this is what Drake would sound like if he had more soul. Right. So, but that is like, if Drake made that music, I'd be like, Drake is one of the best artists that are out here.
Okay.
Right. Like if he stuck in that lane, if he made the moody R&B music, and I'm okay with him rapping. Like I don't care about him rapping and not rapping, but if he had to just made the moody music that Party made, and what made this album so good was there was a theme.
Right.
The theme was like he went from the top of a relationship with a new chick all the way to the breakup. So the songs go through that process.
Right.
I was like, that's a good project.
Right.
Rather than what Drake normally does is just random songs that are about random shit in an album, and some of them fucking slap, and some of them you're like, all right, whatever, and some of them you're like, this is trash.
Yeah.
Right. At least that's how I received the music. So when I listened to this, and I was like, oh damn, I can see where R&B Drake makes sense, because him and Party sound a little similar.
Right.
Even though Party has a better singing voice to me. So when I listened to the Party album, I was just like, damn, this is a pretty good album.
Yeah.
This is a really good album. It's like 13, 14 songs. I'll tell you exactly. I don't gotta wonder. So those 2 things like are the best I heard this week.
Yeah.
So yeah, 14 songs. It's about 55 minutes on 14 songs.
That's a nice little.
It's a nice project. Yeah. Like I was like, okay, this is a good project, and so it was one of the better R&B projects I've heard. And then I developed a list. I think I have 5 R&B projects that I liked that were not Raven Nene. I thought that album was boring.
You thought it was boring?
I thought it was boring. I listened to it and I was like, she's got the track on there with Ty Dolla $ign.
Yeah.
That's also a fine track.
That was a good. Yeah.
I like Ty Dolla $ign with the melodies.
I like them in that pocket.
Right? Like I'm like, okay, this is nice.
Yeah.
As I was getting through that album, I'm like, I'm bored.
Really?
I'm really bored right now. It felt more alternative than it did R&B.
It definitely got more alternative as it went. You know, and I think I expected as much. So when I told you, I definitely didn't tell you like, this is for R&B. I think I just told you, just check her out. Yeah. Right. See what you think. I was excited to hear it. I've definitely been excited with every drop that she's had. I guess I could see where it would be more boring, even if I were to compare it to past projects that she's had, where I felt like they were either more up-tempo, and what she was doing with her voice was different on those albums than it was here, because I think she kept it kind of like on the what would you even call that, like the whisper songs.
Yeah, it was very very
like yeah, so she's doing that like on the whole album. So I think I can objectively look at it and say I can see how you would think it could be boring. Right?
I was bored.
I definitely, maybe it just fit the time when I was listening to it. I listened to it at night. I think I was working on something on the computer, so it just kind of fit well for me to be able to like actually listen to what was going on. And it was like, oh, okay, this is a cool place to put a guitar. Okay, cool, that was cool. That was a cool sample, or that, it was a cool. I like what she's doing with her voice there. I like this beat because I haven't really heard her on this beat. I have a bit more exposure to her work to then kind of reflect it on what is she doing here different from what she did before, and so maybe that's also why I had a little bit like a vested interest.
Yeah, sure.
In her. So my listen, for me, it was enjoyable. I liked it. I actually had, I took away maybe 5 songs that I would go back to, but at the whole album, I think I just don't like 2 or 3 that I probably just wouldn't go back to, but not that necessarily that I hate.
Yeah.
Off that album.
Let me be clear. I thought the album was mid.
Yeah.
So it was fine. This is my first. I haven't listened to Raven Lene before, so this was my first go around. I think everybody should give her a shot. Shout out to her. I think she did a pretty cool project. I was just bored. I was just like, okay. Yeah. And then I went from listening to that to listen to Chloe.
Right. So
and I was like, and that might even help why I liked Chloe's better, because I was just more interested in the project as she kicked off from the beginning track, and then the Ty Dolla $ign second track, and then the third track is kind of poppy. Mm-hmm. But I get it. The content fit in the theme that she was going with.
Okay.
And then she's just going in like song after song, and like I said, she had a really good project. It was a good project. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna give you a top 5 R&B albums.
Okay.
That I've heard this year for 2024. Okay. So far.
Okay.
My top 5.
Yeah.
In no order, by the way. So no, don't come at me on this one's better. That one's better. Okay. Heavy, Sir.
Yeah. No. I mean, come on.
Okay. Come on. And I was like album of the year when I heard that one. Yeah. Casablanca.
Yeah.
Marsha Ambrosius.
Yeah.
Okay. The third one is going to be P&D, P4. Okay. I'm going to do Chloe.
Okay.
It's probably my 4th one. And there's a 5th one here, but now that I'm looking at it, I don't really consider it an R&B album.
What is it?
I'm not going to include it because I don't think it's R&B really.
Okay.
So it would have been Blast, but I don't really feel like that's an R&B album.
Oh, really?
I feel like that's too rappy.
Right.
For it to be R&B.
Okay.
For me.
I mean, it Blast sticks out like a sore thumb amongst the rest of that list, right?
And that's my point, right? Yeah. Like, that's if I have to start being like, well, if you listen to this track, it's kind of singing, but if you listen to that track, like, you're not an R&B album.
Yeah.
I get it. But those, so I'll give you those 4. So the top ones I've heard are those 4 this year, and all of them are vastly different projects.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, and they gave a really great range of what R&B could be. Some adult stuff with Marsha.
Yeah.
Sir, I think Sir's kind of adulty. I don't know how kids receive Sir or don't.
I'm actually not too sure.
So I feel like he's more on my end of the R&B spectrum than he is on the Gen Z end of the R&B spectrum.
Yeah.
But, whatever. Everybody check out Sir. The P&D was definitely this generation's R&B. Right. That is definitely just moody, vibration, R&B. Definitely. And I really enjoyed that. And then the Chloe felt like some of the songs were like a traditional R&B project. So some of the songs felt like that to me. Just good instruments, good vocals.
Yeah.
Great production, great mixing. Like it was a good listen. It was a good listen. So I enjoyed it. Shout out Chloe. Well done.
Shout out Chloe. Look at that.
So
getting a good review. How many trash bags?
How many trash bags for the Chloe joint?
Yeah, Chloe.
For the Chloe joint, okay, that pop shit really turned me off. So I'm gonna give her 1.5 trash bags.
1.5. Okay.
1.5.
You would have took out the pop, and it probably would have been
half a trash bag.
Half a trash bag.
Yeah.
Wow, I gotta go check this album out.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
I just didn't prioritize to listen to it. Not that I wouldn't listen to it. I just think it wasn't on my top priorities. So.
Really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. Again, I'm not going through a breakup or nothing, but I could see if you were in that mode.
Yeah.
This is an album that you would take some shit away from, and you'd be like, okay, this is my shit. Right, especially for the ladies, right?
Yeah.
P&D's album, for the niggas, P&D's album is who you would be listening to if you was going through your breakup shit. Okay, so But for the ladies, definitely a vibe if you're going through it. Okay. And I started thinking, like, are all the kids just going through breakups right now? Like, is that what's happening? Like, the fuck is all this breakup music?
I mean, look, that's a need that always needs to be met in the music
gotta
industry.
Feed the streets.
You gotta feed the streets when it comes to the breakup crowd.
Oh man, yeah. So it was there was a lot of new music out, but that was the best of it. So yeah, shout out to this Friday was a good drop. The industry got it together and got some album battles out there.
You know what? Let's get back to business, guys. Jesus Christ, are we gonna start acting like we
we're gonna start acting like we actually put out music? But yeah, so that happened. All right. So yeah, a lot of new music.
Nice.
A lot of new music. What else you listen to this week?
Nice. What else did I listen to this week? Well, what I also got into was Logic. I listened to Logic. I haven't finished that album. I gave that Logic album a listen.
How you feel about it?
So here's the thing with Logic, and I think a lot of people will share my sentiment. I was really big on Logic when he first came out. When he first came out, I was like, man, I'm digging what he's like, the albums that he's putting out, the concepts that he has for his albums. Like those first two were really good to me, and then and I really felt like he was coming into his own with those, right? It really kind of, I could understand who Logic was as an artist and as a person, right? Then I think he dove off the deep end kind of in that third album and kind of subsequently just kind of as he kept going, just with what he was putting out, I think it just became so much about I'm biracial and so much about just like, having to clearly state that in his identity in every album to where I think if you're not that, then it turns you off to it. But also I think everything started to become very repetitive with him and very, it was the same approach to the album, same approach to, even conceptually, it felt very similar to what, it was fresh the first time you did it. Then after you do it like 3 times, I'm kind of over it. Mm-hmm. Right, so that was back in 2014, 2015, and then 10 years later, I'm listening to Ultra 85, which, again, if I would have got that album back then, I would have thought it was the best thing since fucking, Kendrick or something. I don't know. It would have been a totally different way of me receiving it. Mm-hmm. But because I received it with my 2024 brain, and again, having gone through this whole process with Logic, I really just found myself just wishing he would have been more selective with what he was putting out, right? Because all in all, I will say that this album is pretty good. It's pretty good in terms of at least production and again, getting back to I think what worked for him when he's in the space of, again, doing what he loves to do, which is, make these conceptual albums about space and about just really using his creativity. I think that's the pocket that he needs to be in because it works for him. Right, but when he gets to, I think anytime he steps out of that, I think you see that the quality is just not there for what he's trying to do, right? So, again, the space that he was in this album was, okay, I'm taking you to outer space. I'm taking you on this journey that I've already kind of introduced to you, and for the loyal fans, they're gonna love it because it's really just like a crowd pleaser in that sense. I'm really giving you what you've been asking for such a long time. Right, and anybody who's coming back to listen to me, okay, I'm in this pocket that really works for me. So what you're gonna hear from me is a lot more passion, right? I can hear a lot more of that instead of kind of just complying with getting things out just to get it out. I don't know if you're trying to complete like an album requirement on a contract or whatever it was, but that's what it felt like for me with Logic, right? So, shout out to Logic because I did think, he got back again into his pocket of, having that passion again, having that drive, being able to really put out something that felt like it was thought out, felt like it was close to his heart and close to what he wanted to do. Again, the production on there, I think the credits go to him and go to Six for the most part. And, they are always together. But because he gave himself the boundaries of, like, I'm going to match this sound that I once did, maybe that's why it felt fresh again for me. But I will say so much time had passed to where I'm probably not receiving it as like how I would have when I was younger.
Yeah.
And being like, oh, did you listen to the Incredible True Story? That album was amazing.
That album was amazing.
Right. And now I'm like, take a listen to Ultra 85. You might find some tracks you like on it, right?
Okay.
So
yeah, I got you.
Ultimately, that's what I came away with. I'll say that I think I realized how I really felt about Logic when I felt like, can he just go away? And then when he did go away for a little bit, I didn't miss him. Right? And I think that said a lot to me.
Can you believe motherfuckers was saying he was better than Kendrick Lamar back when Incredible True Story came out? Can you believe that was the narrative out there?
I can believe it because I can believe how people just get like, they get hyped up to see something that feels closer to them. So if you're talking about like white kids that are just like, yo, but he's into all the things that I'm into, and he loves anime and all, like, and then so they feel like they can more closely relate to him, and they're like, and he's rapping just like Kendrick, and it's like, well, that's kind of the problem too. It feels like it's a little too close to Kendrick to where you're just copying him, if anything, right? And he got a lot of that criticism over time. And at the time, I probably wasn't as receptive to it because I was in it. I was like, yeah, no, I fuck with him. Like, I think he's he could really be the next one or whatever you want to say. But now, obviously having those glasses come off, be able to be a grown up and fucking consume this music, and that, I can go back to, what was it called? Under Pressure, whatever it was called.
His first one,
yeah. I can listen to that one and I can hear the elements of like, okay, Kendrick just came out a year ago.
Yeah.
And I can hear that he had a lot of influence on you.
Yeah.
In this album. Right? So I think, he lost me as I got older and more wiser to music. He lost me there, and this project again, I gave it a fair shot. I definitely don't hate it. I'll probably give it another listen through just because I want to be able to really fully form my opinion because it's so fresh. I did want to mention it. Because again, it was something back in the day we used to talk about. It'd be like
Logic's fire.
Logic's fire, right?
Yeah,
and then
fire. Yeah.
And then we were kind of like, what's going on with Logic?
Yeah, so I got off of Logic on that first Bobby Tarantino shit. I was like, this is not what I want. This is not what I go to you for.
Right.
But I'll say this.
Yeah.
Just about that whole I'm biracial thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So I heard him say it once, right? And I was like, okay.
I get it.
So you're biracial. I didn't listen to Logic's first album. The first album I consumed was The Incredible True Story. So that's the first album I actually listened to Logic. And then I went back to listen to the other stuff. So him saying nigga was like not a question that I needed answered because I came like when his first project that took him off was out.
Yeah.
That he was able to take off on, right? So having to address your biracial all the time.
Right.
I don't ever want to police how people experience blackness. Right. I have friends who are biracial, and one of the people in my life who's biracial, I don't even look at her biracial, and she's legit half and half.
Yeah.
She's black as fuck.
Yeah.
So it's not even a question in my mind. I don't care about that shit.
Right.
But if you feel like you need to address it, then it's because, to me, it's because you probably shouldn't be saying nigga. Like that's how I feel. If you feel like you got to address it like that, then you should just probably not say nigga and just move on with it, right? Like,
because there's some reason.
Because there's some reason
you're continuously feeling like this, right?
Because there's a lot of biracial people out there. If Steph Curry said nigga to me tomorrow, I'd be like, "What's up, nigga?" Like that's how. Like I don't give a fuck about that, right? Or shall I say Klay Thompson, right? Or whoever, right? Like I'm not gonna be like, I'm not gonna be like, "What the fuck did you just say to me?" Yeah. Logic Like if he had when he first came out, I might have been like, what the fuck?
Like, what?
But she was like, oh, my dad's black. I'm like, okay, well, all right. You know, but yeah, it's like, all right, well, just be careful out here, nigga. Like that's
get out of jail free card. What is it? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
okay, so we're gonna talk about this for a second, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna bring up a name that's kind of controversial.
Okay.
And I'm gonna stand on this. I was talking to the homie.
Yeah.
Okay. Patrick Mahomes. Okay.
Oh,
He's
God.
legit. He is legit. Half black, right? Like there is no question.
But he sound like Kermit the Frog.
It's not even that he sound like that. If he said nigga to me in his Kermit the Frog voice, I'd have been like, okay, whatever.
Whatever.
The problem I have
Yes.
with Patrick Mahomes is his wife is white. For all intent and purposes, his kids are white.
Yeah.
They're now a quarter black.
Yeah.
His kids definitely can't say nigga to me.
Okay.
Right? Like that is tried and true. Like, nah. They come over here. If I see these little quarter black kids who got blonde hair and blue eyes or hazel eyes, whatever they look like, I'm sure they're beautiful children.
Yeah.
Shout out to Pat and his family. I don't want there's no ill will here.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, Pat's not out here living a life where I feel like if he said, what's up, nigga, to me, that I'd be like, okay. I'd be like, look, Pat, I'm not here to say you can't. could you please not say it to me? That's what I'm saying, right?
Say it to your friend.
Yeah, say it. Yeah, like
let them.
Don't say it to me.
Yeah.
And if you say, well, I'd be like, because you probably live somewhere where it's very white.
Yes.
Like with a capital H.
Yeah.
Right? So you raising a nice white family, lovely white family.
Yeah.
Okay. That's just not where you at.
No.
And that's okay. That's okay. Like I'm good.
We just gotta be okay with some of these things, right? We just gotta be okay.
Just gotta be okay. So for Logic, I think Logic's I don't know if he's married or whatever his relationship status was. I think she was white. I'm not sure.
No, she's like white.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's when you have to start because niggas is seeing you raise a white family, not
and a white baby, like that baby's white.
A white baby, and then you on the rap talking about nigga. It's just like, okay, so now you are weaponizing the word nigga to validate your blackness.
Yes,
you're not just being black.
Right.
You're saying I am black because I can say nigga because I'm black.
Right.
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 Instead of just being black and saying nigga, those are two very different things.
Right.
So I think that's the beef that a lot of people have with Logic is like, if you don't just, getting back to the music, if you don't just make music, and if you had just been sliding in there and you had just been like taking a picture with or showing pictures of your dad with you know what I mean? Because I know there's some like parent dynamic according to him, right?
Yeah.
So if you had been just putting it out there that similar to Drake, I have a black dad. I spend time with my black dad. I do this with my black dad. You know what I mean? And everything. Right. So, but that's what Kendrick was saying. Kendrick said it best.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, ain't even got to be deep, I guess. Some shit is just cringeworthy. Logic, that's where you were.
Yeah. He's in that space. You were just cringe. And
just cringe.
It's like, you're doing it more for yourself than anyone else. And
it was turning people off of his music.
Yes.
It was turning people off of his music.
Yes.
But the Bobby Tarantino stuff is what I was just like, I appreciate that he made those albums and they were specifically that. But I was like, I don't go to you for that. I went to you for The Incredible True Story. Yeah. I went to you for that style of rap and the few projects that preceded it. Yeah. Like that's where you're making your name. And then you're like, okay, rap is here. I want to make this album, and I'm not here to say people shouldn't do what they should do. I'm just here to say, like, that's when I was like, okay, well, then go do that shit. I don't want to listen to it. And one of the Bobby Tarantino projects, I was like, oh, this isn't bad. It was okay.
I think the second one was probably the best one I would think.
What's the one with Indica Badu on it?
I think it was the second one.
Okay, that's the one that I was like, okay, this isn't bad.
Yeah.
But I just stopped listening to him. To your point, like I just stopped listening to his music. He would have the drops. I would listen for a second, and I'd be like, I don't know, whatever. I don't care.
And then it just got so in the zone where I was just like, okay, you're doing all this stuff that. I've always tried to think about how I would put like how and why I got turned off the Logic, besides the cringeworthy stuff that was going on with the biracial qualification. Yeah. I qualify as black, whatever you want to say. Right? Like, you know. Or what? I was thinking of the Dave Chappelle skit. You know, the black congregation was like
the black delegation.
Yeah, there you go. And then, but it was like
the black delegation would like to take.
We in the black delegation. Shoot Tiger Woods.
Shout out Mose, bro. Oh my god.
Hell yeah. And we not drafting Logic. If we got to pick, we ain't drafting Logic for sure. 100% we ain't drafting Logic. But I mean, this project, if we go back to talk about this project, I agree 100% with you. Had he released this project 10 years ago, it would have just been okay, Logic is keeping on. It would have been a nice follow-up project to what he did.
And we would have felt like, oh yeah, like he's just he's following through, he's keeping it going, he's doing his thing, and he's doing it, and he leveled up in it, right? Because I do think it's a level up from the Incredible True Story, but 10 years later, and again, it's just too little, too late, or however you want to put it, and it's not servicing me anymore. He lost fans like me, right? In the process of kind of getting there. You know, if it took him that long to get to be able to put this album out, then I understand to some degree. But you just have to face the facts that like you lost people along the way. Like, I wasn't looking for a 7-minute track with you and Eminem. I don't know. It just wasn't me, you know. Like,
I'm done listening to 7-minute Eminem tracks. Like, Eminem, you need to start making these motherfuckers 3 minutes, 30 seconds
please,
to get the fuck out of here. I don't want to listen to you rap
stuff.
Yeah, I don't want to listen to you once in a while. Fine, like I can admit, like Rap God, I listened to that for a little bit, but I don't want to listen to that shit. I also don't want to hear about this being your last rap. Stand on it. If it's gonna be your last album, then make it your last album and don't come out with albums. Please. Shit. But don't keep saying it's my last album and then keep fucking dropping albums, nigga. Like, I don't care. I don't care.
Like, I just, please.
So I really only listened to this album. I don't know why I listened to it actually.
Yeah, why did you listen to
it? I started listening to it and I was like, why the fuck am I listening to it? But I'm enjoying it. I'm 9 songs into it and I'm like, okay, this is actually pretty good.
Again, to the point that I was making earlier, like I would have loved it back in 2016 or whatever, and now listening to it, I can give it a fair shot, right? I will always try to give it a fair shot, but again, I have all this experience of what I went through with Logic.
You got some PTSD.
Yeah, I got some PTSD to where I'm just like I'm not gonna be out here standing 10 toes on like, nah, Logic album was fire, bro. Like I'll just be like, it was cool.
Yeah.
So maybe it's the person that kind of ruined it for me. Right.
What if I said it like this? So I think Logic made people mad for different reasons. Because I didn't never get off of Logic for all the racial stuff.
Yeah.
Because I never heard it.
Right.
Because I actually got off of Logic before that. And so thinking about how Logic just like threw away his, I don't want to say threw it away, but he definitely like turned his fans off, right? Yeah. He did it in multiple ways. For me, he didn't stay true to who he was, right? Like, right. And I was like, these projects are whatever. Yeah. I have no idea how they were received. I don't know how they sold. I don't know anything. Yeah. I'm just saying the way I consumed it. I was like, I don't go to Logic for this shit.
Yeah.
And so then I just stopped listening to his music because then that shit was always kind of weaved into the albums.
Right.
Even if they weren't the Bobby Tarantino albums, it was still kind of in there. And then I was just like, okay, I'm just not enjoying Logic's music. So I left out of, I just didn't listen to any projects.
Yeah.
And you were like, I
was like, this shit's corny. Like that's what it came. That's what it came off. It just came off of corny, cringy, and I was just like, I'm over it. Like I can't stand on. Like I'm starting to feel embarrassed. Like I'm embarrassed.
I'm black, guys. I swear.
And it's just like, bro, like it's so. Calm down, right? Like it became a point where I was like, I used to be like, oh yeah, like because I felt like I saw a certain trajectory with him, I was like, cool, like he's gonna become this, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, like Logic's in the conversation for whatever we want to talk about, right? I can have him in any conversation. And now it's like, I'm not going to mention him. Like, I'm not going to mention that I went to a concert in 2017. That shit sound like, what? You went to a Logic concert? You know what I mean? Like, it's just, that's...
Motherfucker became uncool. That's funny to me.
Yeah, he came so uncool, man. Like, you know, and I was right there, right in that, like, age range for, like, really being, like
yeah, where it needed to be,
like,
yeah.
And it was very much just like, nah, man, nah. And also, I guess because at the end of the day, I also recognized that what he was doing, I was seeing other people do better and in a more authentic way to themselves, right? I could go to a Denzel Curry for a very creative album or something like that. I could go to people for what he was, the void that he was feeling at the time when I kind of found his music, right? I was like, oh, no one's doing this really. But then I found other people that were doing that, right? Or I could go back to older stuff of other people that had done similar things, right? Similar concept albums in that way, right? So like, you're not the only guy doing it either.
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah.
It's fine. I can.
You definitely didn't do unique enough for you to be missed.
No way. And so that was the thing that I recognized is that, one, I wanted him to go away. And then in terms of me leaving like that space and just being like, I'm not even going to check for Logic, I was like, I didn't really miss the years that I wasn't paying attention. I'm not going to go back to those albums. Yeah. That's really where it's at that point, right?
Yeah.
And it's no shade to Logic. It's just a matter of that's just my reality. That was my experience with him, you know? And it was very, I don't know if I shared like an experience with an artist like this so far in our discussions about music, but like that's very much one of those artists.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That you like went through this journey, that Logic put you through this journey.
Yeah, for sure.
That's crazy.
Because you remember, we used to talk about Logic. I'm like, bro, I love this album. I'm checking for Logic. And now it's like...
So I think this listen of Ultra 85 is better for me because I actually listened to An Incredible True Story this week.
Okay.
And I was like, damn, this album was so good. It's really good.
It's still good.
And then it's still good. Put it on right now. Spin it. Spin it on your way home.
Yeah,
and
please.
Then,
please.
You know
like,
what I mean? And you'll be like, damn, it's a good album.
Yeah.
And now I'm listening to this. It, for me, for my psychology, I was like, let me listen to this album, and then I'll listen to this album, and then it'll play better for me.
Yeah.
Because I'll be like, this is a nice follow up. Because that's how I'm choosing to view Ultra 85.
You skipped all the BS that I went through.
Skipped all the bullshit, and I'm like, this is a nice follow up album to Incredible True Story. You know what I mean? Look at that. So it took him 10 years to get a follow up. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I skipped all the bullshit. So I'm hoping, I'm 9 songs in.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty good so far. I'm hoping it stays on trajectory for me. And I'm just into the story. As you probably can hear, I like an album that's got a theme, that's got a through line that we're following and stuff like that. I could do an album of vibes. But we don't have to do that anymore because of how music is released. Right. I can create a vibe curated specifically to my liking. So you can't give me a collections of songs because I'm going to be like, I could put this together better myself. Well, quite frankly, I could arrange your album better. Like, that's how I feel. So, fuck your feelings. I feel like I could have arranged your album better. Childish Gambino.
Hey, shout out to Childish Gambino. He had a feature on that Raven Lene album.
He did have a feature on that way.
I like that song a lot. I like that song.
He did. It was pretty good. So I feel like I can curate the album better. And so, or I'll just pick off the songs that I want. Again, when you had to go buy a CD, you were more invested in liking that shit because you just spent your fucking money on it. But now, I'll just pick out the tracks that I don't want. So the reasons that the Party album, the reason that these albums that I'm liking, I'm enjoying this is because they feel like projects that people set down and they're like, this is what I want this project to be about. This is the theme of this album. Right? The Summer Walker shit when she was with London on the track. I don't remember the name of that album right now. I'll find it while I'm talking about it. That album, she was in love. You can tell.
Oh, yeah.
That album was fucking fire.
You could tell.
That album was fucking fire. Right? Yeah. Summer Walker, you know what she's going through. She's either in love or she's fucking over it.
Yeah.
Right?
It's very apparent.
It's very apparent in her music, and she's very passionate about how she's feeling, right? So, oddly enough, so that album is called Over It. even though she was in it.
Yeah.
Right. And that was a really good album. And then Still Over It was the exact opposite of the Over It album. Right. And I'm just like, I enjoy that I know what the artist is going through.
Right.
When you just dump music out and I'm just like, okay, I don't know what we're going through here, which is why I'm not vibing with the Childish Gambinos and the like. It's not that I don't like the music. It's like, I don't know what this album is about. This is just a collection of music.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck we're doing here. It's just a group of songs.
Yeah.
Nothing's happening here for me.
Yeah.
So for Logic to come out with this and there is like the story, like I'm invested in the story, like, okay, so what's going on? You know what I mean? And all the skits and stuff like that are moving through. I'm just like, I'm invested in the story of the album. And that's what makes a really good project to me.
And it has you actively listening to it.
I am
right?
active. I'm actively listening.
I can recall the skits on that album already because
Yep.
some of them are hilarious.
I'm gonna have to upgrade my shit.
I can recount that album so well.
Yeah.
But again, it's like just like Kendrick's album, right?
Yeah.
I can recount that album so well because it plays out like a movie in my head.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's these albums where they stick with you for that reason, and they get you to actively listen, and so I don't know. That's the beauty of again having a concept and following through the whole album, and really putting it out in that way. And if you're willing to listen to it that way.
Also, don't let it, if we've learned anything from Logic and Drake, don't try and litigate your blackness in your music.
No.
That is the quickest way for you to fail.
Yeah.
If you want to prove that you're black, then just be yourself. And either the culture knows you're black or we're like, you ain't black. Yeah. And you just got to do what you got to do what you got to do. Yeah. Right? It's so funny because there's colorism in every culture, I think. There's not colorism in white culture. So let me be clear. So there's colorism, though, in the Hispanic culture. There's colorism in the black culture, which is why I don't be trying to police people's blackness. If you have a black mom or dad and everything, and you grow up in a black way, but what you can't do, shout out to Rachel Dolezal, is identify as black. And that's what Logic was trying to do, and that's why that shit look corny, because we're like, nigga, stop.
Yes.
And just because I called you nigga don't mean you're black. It's just, that's how I talk.
Right.
Right? So you can't identify black any more than Lupe can identify Japanese.
God damn it, Lupe. God damn it, Lupe.
So I would say, let's stop trying to litigate your identity.
Yeah.
Right? Because you can still, even if you are black, appropriate things that you are not about.
Yeah.
Mob ties Drake. He's not mob ties. Like, I don't care if he runs around with gangsters and shit like that. Drake is not the one who's going to be in the car doing the drive-by.
Right.
Right? So, and I know rappers do that. I don't care about him talking about it in the music. I don't care about that. What I'm saying is, you out here carrying yourself like you can't be touched.
Right.
Right? Like, hey, somebody step to me. Niggas will step to you, Drake. Nobody gives a fuck. Like, you called Kendrick outside, and I was like, nah, that nigga was like, I'll be outside. Okay, I'm out here, right? And I think that's what we've been trying to say.
Right.
Have your identity, whatever your identity is. So, and then stay true to yourself.
Right.
Logic, if you're black, okay, you're black. That's fine. But I still don't want to hear you saying nigga every 15 words.
Right.
Right? That's just not, you didn't do that on your best album you came out with. You did not do that.
At all. And I think it wasn't really even touched on about the whole idea of being biracial. It was so much more than that.
It had nothing to do with that. It was just music. You was rapping. White people can rap. Shout out to Eminem.
There you go.
Shout out to Logic. Half of Logic. Right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, white people can rap too. Shout out to Paul Wall. You know what I mean? Like, kids, if you don't know who Paul Wall is, go.
They don't know who Paul Wall. They don't know who Paul Wall is.
All right. Shout out to my New York niggas. Do the knowledge.
Do the knowledge.
But yeah, white people can rap too. It's fine. But you know, just stay in your lane. That's my theme. Stay in your lane.
There you go.
Stay in your lane. And your lane was incredible true story shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? All right. Speaking of just dropping random shit. Did you look at the 100 gigs of Drake?
It's hard for it to not
The
come
Drizzler.
across your feed. The Drizzler is everywhere.
The Drizzler's on everybody's feed. Pause.
He's on everybody's feed. He was drizzling on everybody's
The Drizzler's feeding everybody. What'd you think about this? Do you feel like a lot of people feel like this was a good look? Like Drake needed to be humanized because he's an alien.
Oh my God! You know what? It looked like to me what a crisis management team tells you to do when you're in hot water.
Motherfuckers is calling you a PDF in music.
Yeah. I think a PR team definitely tells you to do something like this because it'll really be a good look, Drake. It'll get you back into the good graces.
I mean, did you see he also released that UMG was like, take that shit down. We own you, Drake.
Yeah, no.
Take that shit down. But it's still up. But the songs are now in Apple Music as well. So you don't have to go to that website to get them there in Apple Music.
Okay.
The songs are.
There you go.
So you saw some of this.
Yeah.
Did you watch any of the videos?
I saw a little bit of the videos, but
Okay.
I didn't, it wasn't something that I was running to. But I was like, I need to know enough to at least talk about it.
About it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God.
I'm not on the side that thinks this was a good idea, by the way.
Because it wasn't.
I don't care about Drake's creative process all that much. And I don't know that I'm not a person that's gonna like watch somebody make an album and be like, that was a good watch. I'm just gonna be like, okay, great.
Sure.
The music's out there, so
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Why I don't even like Hotline Bling, so watching him make Hotline Bling is not a thing that's entertaining to me.
Cool, I guess.
The songs I listened to,
Yeah.
I gave them a spin. I gave them each one spin. Okay.
I give you credit for that.
Yeah, I'm turning over a new leaf. I'm
Yeah.
going to listen to everybody's music one time before I shit on it.
There you
So,
go.
so I'm going to give you, and if I've listened to it twice, that means 4 trash bags, right? Like, so, you know what I mean? But I did listen to the tracks. I did like the 21 Savage. I like the beat on the 21 Savage joint, this joint featuring 21 Savage, I should say. I did like the beat. Drake rapping, whatever. I don't care. So it's fine. It's fine. It's Drake. But the beat was hard. The blue, green, red track.
Blue, green, red, yellow.
Yeah. Have you listened to any of these tracks, by the way? Okay. So he does a London drill thing like during the chorus, and I'm like, this is precisely what I hate about you, because he's like doing a London accent.
Yeah.
Right, and I'm like, this here. So the part where he's just being Drake,
Yeah.
I'm like, this is fine, and then he does the London drill stuff, and I'm like, trying to sound like Skepta, right? And I'm like, this here is precisely why I dislike all of your music.
Yeah.
Because you could have just not done this.
You could have got Skepta.
You could have got the person who does this to be on here, and then it'd have been fine. I'd have been like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But you did it, and that's what makes this shit corny,
Yeah.
right? Other than that, the track was fine.
Okay.
It was fine. And then the Lotto track, it came on in like the first like 30 seconds. I was like, I don't want to listen to this shit. So I turned it off.
I can hear that song just by your description.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I know exactly how it is.
Exactly. I listen to it. Just give it one go.
No, I'm gonna give it all a go.
I also suggested you listen to Vultures, but that's because Misery Loves Company.
Oh
And
my God.
So
So you wanted to bring me down on that. That was on Saturday too.
Yeah.
I was just like, all right, well. And I started my day off like that.
yeah, that's how I started my day off. Misery
I
Loves
was
Company.
like, God.
Okay, so I listened to those 3 tracks. They're whatever. I know people are like, oh, Drake back out here in the streets. Whatever. They're Drake songs. They can't chart or I guess they can chart now because UMG released them and they're on your Spotify's and your Apples and all that stuff. So I guess they can chart now. I personally feel like Drake is either featuring or dropping this in these ways because all his fans, all they ever do is talk numbers. And I don't think his music is going to chart as high. Yeah. And so I think doing it in this way allows him to dodge some of that.
Like a full, like this is my full release of this single or of this album, whatever it is, right? Like he has to sit in front of like, okay, any criticism because I put it out legit.
Exactly.
And then this way it's like, this isn't legit.
This way it's not a legit drop. This way it was a roundabout drop. Nobody's going to be asking for it to fucking chart super high. Yeah. For me, there weren't like any like club bangers or any smashes that you like, oh, this shit is going to be everywhere, right? Yeah. Like what he's been on lately, the who's that pop star he was on? He was on with
the racist one. Was it Camila Cabello?
There we go.
Yeah. Ooh, I didn't want to say the wrong name. Ooh, that would have been hot water.
Oh my god!
If you can't tell today, I'm kind of on one.
The racist bitch. Okay.
That's one way to say it. Okay.
So we know them tracks like didn't do nothing for her really, right? Was it Gordo? Who's that motherfucker?
Gordo is the like the what is it? Not dance hall. It's like a house producer.
So he's done that
shit.
He
did the Honestly Nevermind stuff.
Okay, and nobody asked for that shit.
He's like that. You know how it is. Drake attaches himself to the person.
Yeah.
That actually does the thing. So he's renowned when it comes to house right now. Whatever.
Cool. So I don't know where those tracks are charting for him either. Because he was featured on those tracks. Yeah. And then he's had some other stuff that's come out. Quite frankly, I feel like what people are talking about was a good move for Drake was the videos. I don't hear anybody like, oh man, he came out with 3 fucking slaps. Those motherfuckers need to be everywhere. Like when God's Plan came out, like everybody, right. I like that song. Like I'm not even on front. Like I like that song.
I remember,
I don't hear anybody talking like that about the music. What I hear them saying about this 100 gigs is that it was really good to validate that one, Drake didn't steal Hotline Bling. He actually created it. Again, I don't know why you have to answer that. Well, we can talk about why you have to answer that question.
Exactly. Exactly.
So
come on, what are we saying, bro?
But that's my point about this whole drop. That's why I don't feel like it's a good thing because the internet is ready to go in like with a microscope on everything Drake right now. Ever since the beef, everything Drake right now is under a gigantic microscope and it's under a public opinion campaign that you can't win. Yeah. You can't win. So he drops the shit on the 8th, 9th, whatever day around the time that Kendrick was going to drop. Yeah. Right? Like, so again, you're playing these stupid games. Kendrick doesn't drop, so you drop this shit. So now Kendrick could drop tomorrow and you ain't got shit for him, right? Like, so you play, like he just got you out here in your head. Like, I'm going to drop before Kendrick can get out. You know what I mean? It's just like, the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, you just.
Then you drop the shit and the internet is like, nah, we ain't having it, bro. You've been fucking with the fucking kickstream predators, right? And that's what I think that people are trying to stay away from. You don't really want to report on that because it's tangentially tangentially related to Drake. Right. I'm not out here saying Drake is out here doing anything nefarious. I'm not here to report the news. I'm not here to say anything like that. I'm not here to cover any of that. I'm just saying everything right now he does is super fucking messy. It's super messy.
Just fucking.
And I'm just like, the one question I have is, how come when some weird shit jump off, some shit that's just like out of left field, I didn't even know what Kick was or anything about the streaming service until it was like, Drake is fucking with a predator on Kick. Wait, what? What the fuck is this? And I'm looking like, okay, I think we're making some leaps here. I'm like shooting Drake bail when I'm having these conversations, right? Like, I'm like, I think, I can't say that Drake is I guess because he went on with the girl's stuff. He knows her, it sounds like. I don't know. I'm not out here saying he's rocking with this or she's finding young girls for him. Like, that's where everybody is taking this down.
Right.
The only question I have is, Drake, how come your name comes up credibly when this shit happens? Like, I don't.
Why is your name everywhere?
Why is your name everywhere?
Right. See what happens when you try to have your name everywhere? Then it's everywhere, and everywhere messy.
It's literally everywhere.
Everywhere nasty.
And the internet. And I only bring that shit up because I don't want to. I have nothing to say about what is potentially going on over there at Kick.
I'm not gonna pretend to say like I got my microscope out and I was over here.
I was in the YouTube rabbit hole about this last night. Okay, so
I could tell.
So I was in there and I was like, I see how we're leaping.
Right.
I can see where you're trying to make the connections. Mm-hmm. I don't want to make any of those connections.
Okay.
I just want Drake to release the Party album if it's gonna come out.
Yeah.
To release the solo project and not give me the massive 100 gig dump. Because when you do this shit, we're not judging him on the music anymore. Because what Kendrick has done masterfully, is he has weaponized the internet, the living, breathing organism of the world, the internet, against Drake.
Yeah,
Kendrick has gone off. People are mad because he hasn't dropped an album. Yeah. Everybody feels like he hyped us all up for an album rollout. Yeah. We have no idea when this is coming, if it is at all coming. Yeah. Right? But every time Drake does something, the internet is like, shut up, nigga. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, he's a human? Yeah, he's a human predator. Look at this fucking kick stream. Yeah, you know what I mean? Exactly. It's just like, what the fuck are we doing right now? So Drake, I agree with the other people who think you should just stop releasing, or I won't say stop releasing, only release music.
Yeah.
Only release music.
Yeah.
Right? And just be like, hey, so if Party puts out there, we're doing the thing, or you put out there, you're doing the thing with Party, okay, niggas is waiting for that. Mm-hmm. I actually probably will be into that. R&B Drake.
Okay, cool.
Anyway. Moody R&B Drake.
There you go.
We could probably rock with that.
The Moody Blues.
Moody R&B Drake.
There you go.
Let's go.
That's his pocket. Again, we're talking about pockets today, and that's his pocket.
Moody R&B Drake. I will also say, Drake, you need to stay inside, bro.
Yeah.
You need to stay inside because every time you show up outside, your name gets attached to some weird shit.
A fucking trail that just leads to some bullshit.
Some breadcrumbs.
You're just like, what
and people are like, and I'm like, look, we can't just be out here saying this man is doing this, but you make a good case.
I'm just saying, to where you leave it up to me to have to be like, I don't know, but
I said this already, right? The bar is low for the court of public opinion.
Of course.
Okay, so the court doesn't need like fucking a smoking gun.
No. Yeah.
The court of public opinion just needs some circumstantial evidence to be like, the fuck's this nigga doing?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm here to say, stay inside. Also, for you motherfuckers who feel like Drake released 3 songs and he's back and, Kendrick need to get outside because Drake is dropping albums, stop. Okay?
Please.
Okay? Kendrick will drop when he drops.
Yeah.
It's the beauty of Kendrick Lamar. Drake will drop all the time. And then we can go back to that regular homeostasis. Assuming Drake keeps Kendrick's name out of his mouth.
Yeah.
And then we don't have to have no real beef.
You know those threats are going out there. Rumblings that he's gonna try to start it all back up again.
I mean, I'm here for it. Shit, we got some really good Kendrick music out of that fucking beef.
Yeah, if it's gonna get Kendrick to come out of the shadows again.
But okay, so are you you want Kendrick to come out of the shadows?
I want him to drop his album.
You want him to drop an album?
I want him to drop his album.
I don't want him to drop an album.
Why not?
Because I don't want him to do what everybody wants him to do. I don't want everybody. We want Kendrick, and he drops an album. You start down that path.
But I think he strategically, again, I am giving him all the credit in the world that I think he thought about this, and I think he had what he wanted to put out already kind of lined up. He's not doing this for no reason. He didn't pop out for no reason, right? Even with what Drake was saying, it wasn't going to get him to come out at any time. He was going to come out and start, started everything off when he wanted to.
So maybe he did.
I have to assume that he did that in the way that he wanted to. So
I think we all are assuming about Kendrick, right? That's because that's what he does. I'm like, don't get me wrong. I want new Kendrick music.
Yeah.
But this idea that he needs to drop because he's got all of our interests peaked.
Right.
I'm not buying into that shit. I'm like, maybe he did just come outside like, I need to go handle this. I'm going to go back inside with my kids, my fiance, who I don't beat, my healthy, happy family, and be with my family until I'm ready to drop this album.
There you go.
So maybe he came outside like, let me deliver this ass whooping, and I'm going to go back inside.
That's true.
And then...
Spoken like a true dad, right?
You know what
he was just like, all right, I'm outside to handle this real quick.
Hey, you know what I mean? Like, you interrupted my dinner, bitch.
Yeah,
so I got to come out here, whoop your ass. So I got to go back inside, put my kids to bed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Kendrick don't drop, then I'm good.
I can see your point. I can see your point to being good with that.
I watched the Not Like Us video last night.
I heard that shit pop off in Dodger Stadium last night.
yeah.
I was like, yes, sir.
Hell yeah.
Oh, man.
Still hot.
Still hot.
Still hot.
Got the whole stadium rocking.
Spit hot fire.
Spit hot fire. I rip and I rhyme.
I rhyme and I rip. Still way Dylan spit.
Oh, man.
All right. I got one last question for you.
All right.
It's Kendrick related.
Cool.
Did Kendrick really apologize to Big Sean?
No.
All right.
That shit was... Okay, we on the topic about being corny.
All
Big
right.
Sean... First of all, Big Sean... let me give you some advice, all right? Next time you trying to, dance around the the question of why aren't you guys married yet with Nene, just be like, we're very spiritual people. We don't believe in a traditional marriage. We've already spiritually been married for about 8 years. Whatever you want to say. You don't got to go through this whole rabbit hole and this whole song and dance where he's like, well, that's a hard question.
Well, we both got to put it into work.
It's like, bro, what? He just spilling all the tea.
Okay. Nigga, I hope them couch pillows are comfortable.
Bro, he's out here. He's out here digging a grave, bro.
He was digging that fucking
dragging a body.
ditch. Yeah, dragging his body.
Yeah. No, he took the tarp off and he was like, oh shit, it's me. That's what he did. I was like, yo.
That was crazy. That was funny. I was cracking up. I was like, as a 15-year vet, yeah, you
messed up, bro.
Whew, that shit was crazy.
That shit was terrible.
That shit was crazy.
All Charlamagne the God did was leave him with his thoughts.
Let that shit breathe. He didn't jump in there at all.
He was like this the whole time.
You know what? I don't think we're talking enough about how Charlamagne set that shit up. Like,
he set it up perfect.
Why aren't you and Janae get married?
And he just let that
let that shit
Big Sean was like, shit.
I love her.
Yeah.
And we thinking about it.
It's cold. It's really cold.
But we got work. I got work. She got work. And wait, what?
No, but the part about it that's amazing to me is that at that point, right? Any of us, I think, would be like trying to post him a little bit of bail.
Yeah.
A little bit like, I get you. No. Charlamagne was just quiet the whole time.
Charlamagne was like, keep going. Yeah. That definitely had to feel like Big Sean thought he needed to fill the dead air instead of just shutting up and making Charlamagne continue the interview.
That's why you got to be comfortable with that shit. You got to, come on, guys. You guys are media trained.
Apparently not.
What are we doing?
Big Sean went out there on that ledge.
He's like,
nigga sweating and shit. Well, you see, marriage is a spiritual situation between a man and a woman. Nigga, what the fuck?
Oh, yes, we know what marriage is.
So, and there's got to be work put in on both sides. And kids.
Oh, man.
That shit was funny. Okay. And then, so then he goes, Kendrick basically apologized to me.
Yeah.
Did he apologize?
Basically meaning what? What does that mean?
I don't know. If I recall the story correctly, and I'm remembering the story correctly, he called TDE to get in touch with Kendrick about some shit. So Kendrick didn't reach out to like apologize to this nigga. Like, oh my bad, that leaked. You shouldn't have heard that.
Yeah.
He called like, hey, was this at me? And they're like, nah. Did you talk to Kendrick about it? Nah, I haven't. You should talk to him.
Yeah, talk to him about it. See what he
says. Because I think he would say no.
Yeah.
And then I talked to Kendrick, and then he was like, nah, that was weird. That was a leak that she wasn't supposed to hear.
Yeah. And then Big Sean took that as, I'm
And
sorry.
Big Sean was like,
okay.
he's sorry. He's sorry for doing that.
Well, I appreciate that, Kendrick. Right? The whole time, Kendrick's like, this is dumb.
This dumb motherfucker.
That's pretty good.
And then my last question for you then is, okay, so we had the Drizzler. Okay.
The Drizzler?
The Drizzler. Drizzy Drake, the Drizzler.
Yeah.
Lupe.
Yeah.
Now Big Sean.
Okay.
The theme I'm seeing is if you are rolling out, everybody said Kendrick was doing this for clout. What I am seeing now is that anybody who is Rick Ross, I'm also going to throw Rick Ross in there. Even though he was on the winning side, I'm going to throw Rick Ross on here.
Yeah.
It seems like if you are rolling out music right now,
yeah,
the best way to get your name out there is to mention Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, everyone's saying his name, right? And again, because of what we just said, right? Everyone wants him to come out, and everyone's eager, and everyone wants to hear a Kendrick story right now. Because again, it was a topic of conversation for how long? It was feeding families. It was out here. I would tell my children about this. I was like, hey, you don't understand.
You don't understand this beef.
Yeah.
This beef was crazy.
It's crazy.
We all was looking at Drake.
I was there. I was outside for that.
Everybody, even Drake fans was looking at Drake different. Like, God damn.
They was like, oh my God.
Hey, even Drake fans was like, he has a daughter?
Yeah. They was trying to do the science.
Yeah, they were.
They were like, no, they were already ready to say accept it too, right? They were like, so what if he has a daughter?
Shout out certain podcasts who just fucking become unhinged about this shit. I asked the question because I'm starting to notice that the narrative of Kendrick clout chasing is actually very Trumpian in that you are actually telling on yourself.
Yeah.
You are clout chasing, leveraging Kendrick's name because he's actually the god right now.
Right.
Right. And the best way to get your name out there, the best way to go viral, the best way to engage the hip hop community right now is to mention either an old beef or a current beef you have with Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
And I'm finding that fascinating, people. So I'm just saying. And
again, it only stamps the fact that he was the winner, right? Because everyone's talking about him like the winner. Did you have a beef with the winner? Right? That's how it
you
comes
still
out
beef
to
with
me.
You still beefing with Kendrick? Nah, he basically apologized to me for the shit he said.
Oh, okay.
So then it's Kendrick apologized to to Big Sean about some beef. I'm just saying, no matter who you're a fan of, Kendrick is number one right now.
He's number one.
And I think the best thing he can do is keep you motherfuckers thirsty as hell out here and not release a goddamn thing.
Yep.
Because it doesn't matter. Whenever we release it, whenever he releases it, we all run in to go stream it that night.
All right. Get ready to wait another year.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. Hey, he released one of the best summer songs we've had in a long time.
Oh man.
That shit broke Drake's records. Like, let's be real.
Which is hilarious. It's just hilarious.
Like a diss track calling him a PDF broke his streaming records.
There you go.
They're playing this shit in fucking Malawi. They're playing this shit in Zimbabwe. They're playing this shit in
everywhere.
Fucking Thailand. They're playing this motherfucker everywhere.
Everywhere.
Shit's everywhere.
Everywhere.
Shit's everywhere.
And everybody loves it. Everybody loves it. I'm telling you, I was in a stadium of 50,000 people just loving
everybody.
Little white kids dancing around. It was crazy. It was a trip. It was a trip. I was like, whoa, this is crazy.
Shout out to Kendrick. Apparently, we all need new music immediately.
Well, take your time. I mean, I'm waiting a year. It's fine.
It might be like some Jordans and just a fucking shock drop on the sneakers app. You know what I mean? So,
oh my God. Wait, what?
So it might just be like that. Like, it might just be like, shit, fucking random Wednesday night. Oh shit, Kendrick shit drop.
That would be great. I mean, that would put the icing on top. Just drop it tomorrow, right? You just be like, what?
Drop.
That shit.
That's why I don't want him to drop, because that's what it feels like everybody is doing to him right now.
Right.
Everybody is telling him to drop, and he's just like, I don't move because I don't jump Y'all tell me to jump. I'm not gonna say how high. That's what Drake do.
Right.
Y'all tell that nigga to jump, and he will do whatever dance you need him to do for this dollar.
Right.
Y'all want new music? You'll get it when I fucking put it out.
There you go.
So shout out Kenny.
So what was that thing that LeBron was doing? putting the crown on his head. Mm-hmm. Everywhere he was at, he was like,
yeah. Except the Olympics, LeBron. You were not the king of the Olympics. Like, let's be real.
I think should have gave it up to Curry for that one.
Oh man, MVP LeBron.
Yeah.
Shout out LeBron. Appreciate you, man. You've done a lot for the city.
There you go. Yeah, you've done a lot.
You've done too much.
You've gone too far.
You've gone too far.
You've gone too far.
Shout out all the new music. Go check out Chloe.
Yeah.
Go check out P4. Go check out
Navy Blue.
Navy Blue.
Fuck it, go check out Logic.
Fuck it, go check out Logic. I've never heard a more ringing endorsement of an album you should listen to than just, fuck it, just go do it.
Just give it a shot.
Just give it a run.
And what's the worst that could happen?
Shout out Logic. We believe you, man. You're black.
Been feeling like a motherfucking postman. Sending letters to the people, all the sellers that I got. I'm like an old man. Hold up when the old